pupils, it's my hope that you're fine. Welcome to our mathematics lesson today, and today we want to look at the topic numbers. Under that topic, our subtopic will be divisibility test for 8. Divisibility test for 8. I know you have done divisibility test for 2, 3, 4, 6, and today I want us now to look at divisibility test for 8. How can you tell that the number or a given number is divisible by 8? How do you know? What are you supposed to do to show that a number is divisible by 8? So we are saying that a number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. A number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. What do we mean here? Given a number, find out the number formed by the last 3 digits. Then after getting that number, which is formed by the last 3 digits, divide that number by 8. After dividing it by 8, if you get a complete answer, if 8 divide in that number completely, then the number is divisible by 8. If 8 does not divide that number completely, there is a remainder, then we'll say that number is not divisible by 8. Let me go through it once. That a number is divisible by 8 if the number formed by the last 3 digits is divisible by 8. In this case, you'll take the last 3 digits. Find out what number has been formed by the last 3 digits. Take that number, divide by 8. If 8 divides that number completely, then we will say the number is divisible by 8. If it does not divide it completely, there is a remainder, then we'll say the number is not divisible by 8. So I have an example here. I want us to look at that example. We find out whether the number is divisible by 8 or it is not divisible by 8. So we'll go back to our rule that we get the number formed by the last 3 digits. So the last 3 digits in this number here, because we have the number as 1824. So the number formed by the last 3 digits are 4, 2, and 8. These are the last 3 digits. So we take that number, which is now 824. So take that number formed by the last 3 digits, 824, then divide it by 8. So here you can use long division. That's 8. You are taking 824 divided by 8. 8 goes into 8 once. That's because of 8. When you subtract, you'll get 0. Then drop 2. 8 goes into 2 how many times? 0. That 8 cannot go into 2. So you take this 0, multiply it by 8, you'll get 0. Subtract, that is 2. Then you drop 4. It is very important for you as a pupil to know that you cannot drop 2 digits at the same time. Don't drop these 2 and also drop 4. You are going to get a wrong answer. That's why you'll find majority of you saying that this is 13 instead of 103 because of dropping 2 digits at the same time. So drop 1. Find out, can 8 go into 2? No. Now right here 0 times. Take that 0, multiply by 8, you'll get 0, subtract it from 2. You remain with 2. Then you drop 4. 8 goes into 24 many times? 3 times because of 24. When you subtract, you'll get 0. So you'll find that 828 divided by 8 will give us 103. There is no remainder, which means this number is divisible by 8. So we will say 1824 is divisible by 8. 1824 is divisible by 8. That is what you're supposed to do. When you get a remainder here, then you will say that number is not divisible by 8. Let's look at the second example. We see if it is divisible by 8 or not. The number formed by the last 3 digits, that is 3, 2, and 4. So the number formed is 423. So take that number, divide by 8. So we'll take 423, then we divide by 8. So you can use long division. 8 outside the division sign, then we have 423. So this 8 cannot go into 4. You move to the second, the number formed by the first 2 digits, that's 42. 8 goes into 42 how many times? We have 5 times. That 5 multiplied by 8, you'll get 40. Then you subtract from 42, you remain with 2. Drop 3. The number here formed is 23. How many times can 8 go into 23? So you find that there are how many times? 2 times because of 16. Then subtract 23 minus 16. What are you going to get? Borrow 1 from these 2, you remain with 1. The one you borrowed, put it there so that the new number formed is 13. 13 subtract 6, you'll get 7. Then this one is 1 minus 1, which is 0. So you see, in this case, we'll have 52 remainder 7. We have 52 remainder 7. So there is a remainder here, meaning that 8 cannot divide in this number completely. Therefore, if it does not divide that in that number completely, we are having a remainder, then we will say 1423 is not divisible by 8. 1423 is not divisible by 8 because there is a remainder. At this stage, you saw that we did not have a remainder. There was no remainder. That's why we say it is divisible by 8 because there was no remainder. But if you find there is a remainder here, then you will say that number is not divisible by 8. It's not divisible by 8. So I have an exercise here. I want to see if you've gotten that concept right. Which one of the following numbers is not divisible by 8? Which one of the following numbers is not divisible by 8? If you get such a question in an exam, then it means you have to test for all the numbers so that you know which one is dividing, 8 is dividing that number completely. Then that one will be divisible by 8. The one that will have a remainder, then it is not divisible by 8. So I want you to use the same procedure we have used in our examples to find out the number in this list that is not divisible by 8. So work out these ones, then find out which one is not divisible by 8. And I'm very much sure you will get the correct answer. Thank you for joining me in our today's lesson.